Meat City, baby.
Hello and welcome back to Meat City Gaming. JD here with another achievement guide in the Pillars of Eternity Complete Edition. In this video, we are going to be unlocking two achievements, Relative Pacifism and Super Murderer. You can unlock Relative Pacifism for completing the game while killing less than 175 creatures and NPCs. If you do so, you will get 100 gamer score. Super Murderer is also for 100 gamer score, and you can unlock that by completing the game while killing more than 1,200 creatures and NPCs. So, on their face, these two achievements should be mutually exclusive. If you complete the game, it will be with a number of kills, and it'll either be under 175 to get Relative Pacifism, over 1,200 to get Super Murderer, or somewhere in between, in which case you would not get either of these achievements. However, the game and the achievements specifically are bugged. They are super broken, as I will be mentioning in all of my achievement guides for this game, because it dramatically impacts how you unlock these achievements. However, this one time, for this specific set of achievements only, the bug actually works in our favor. In reality, Relative Pacifism should be way more difficult than Super Murderer. However, as you can see by the completion percentage for these achievements, it's actually reversed in reality. Relative Pacifism has been completed by 1.55% of the players, and Super Murder has only been completed by 0.31%. And that is not how it should be working based on the actual description of the achievements. Those numbers should be dramatically reversed. If there was no bug, these achievements would be relatively straightforward, and this video probably wouldn't exist because you wouldn't really need it. Super Murderer would just be a complete playthrough of the base game. You would go everywhere, visit all the locations, complete all the side quests, and eventually you will get over 1,200 kills, and then you can complete the game at your leisure and you would unlock this achievement. The game does provide a handy tracking number if you go into your character stats, your party stats, scroll down, and as I show on the screen, there is a running tally for the number of kills, and that number is accurate. Without the bug, Relative Pacifism, on the other hand, would be extremely difficult because you need to basically focus on stealth. You get into combat in this game whenever you get seen by an enemy, and they see you very easily. These maps are close, they're tight, there's not a whole lot of wide areas to go around enemies, so you need to be very stealthy so you can go into stealth mode and then avoid being detected. If you are detected, you're going to be in combat, and it is very difficult to get out of combat without killing the thing that saw you. And so that will start to amp up your kills the more you get seen in combat. So you need very acute map knowledge. You need to know quests that you can complete without killing enemies, because if you're not killing enemies, you're not getting XP for killing those enemies. A lot of quests require you kill enemies, so you're not getting XP, so you're not leveling up your character. Also, enemies drop loot, and loot is the main way that you get money in this game, so you will have less access to money, which is how you buy equipment and upgrades and do all those other things. So the Relative Pacifism achievement, if the game wasn't bugged, would be extremely difficult. It would take a detailed walkthrough for a newcomer. You can't just kind of stumble your way through that in a playthrough if you're relatively new to the game. However, as I mentioned, the game is bugged, and this one time it works in our favor. So here's how you go about completing both of these achievements. For Super Murderer, we are going to be working through the game as efficiently as possible, but not skipping any kills. The way the bug works in this game, whenever you close the game completely, so that can be a crash, which unfortunately happens all the time. It can be your Xbox powers down. It can be the game just closes. If you do smart resume, you're fine. But if it closes out and you have to re-see the title screen and the developer name and all that, then that's a crash. If the game crashes or closes, all of the achievement counters for your current run are broken. So if you had 1,000 kills on your kill tally, you've got a couple more screens, you've got some big fights, and then you're going to make your way to the end game. Game closes, power goes out, you have a crash, forget it. Your number's back to zero. That run is wiped. You cannot now get the Super Murderer achievement. So with that in mind, because the game crashes all the time, it tends to happen most often when you're loading a map, when you're going from one location to another that requires a loading screen and a map change. It can happen other times. I've had crashes just randomly completing missions and doing other things, but most often it's when you're changing maps. So if you enter a map, kill every enemy there while you're there, and don't go back to that map later to complete a side quest. So if you are more familiar with the game and you know, oh, I'm going to go to that location later because there's a mandatory quest, skip it for now and only load that map once. If you end up somewhere and there's enemies there, kill them all. And if you're supposed to go back there later for a side quest, maybe you just skip it, because the side quests don't matter for this achievement. You've just got to get to that 1200 number. And there is not a lot of fat on the bone in terms of that number if you're sticking to the base game, which again I recommend, because when I go to White March, it seems to increase the likelihood of a crash when I'm switching maps in the White March area. So stick to the base game, progress efficiently. Anytime you're on a map, find every enemy on that map, go to every corner and kill them all. If the map has a cave or a side room, go in there now. So you're just loading the main map once, the cave once, kill the enemies in there, back to the main map, and then get out of there and don't come back. As soon as you hit that 1200 number or get very close to it, you can be at 1175, give or take, then go to the end game. And for story reasons, I won't spoil that, but there is the point of no return. You need to get assistance from certain characters so you can jump into a pit and survive. When you do that, that's the point of no return, and there is a limited number of enemies from there forward to the end of the game. And it's probably 40 enemies, but I wouldn't risk that. I would say get yourself to 20 or 25, and then you can go into the pit and complete the end game and get your achievement. Now, before we do, we can double dip here because these achievements should be mutually exclusive, but because of the bug, they're not. So when you're doing that Super Murderer run, you're getting very close to the end game. You've got your 1,175 kills. You're ready to jump into the pit and go to the end game. Put down a save either before you jump into the pit or shortly thereafter, sometime before the final fight in the game, sometime before the final room. Don't cut it too close. Put a save down and keep that save off to the side. Complete the game, finish the final fight, get your Super Murderer achievement. Then crash the game, close it out completely, reload, see the title screen, and load that save. And now go back and just replay the last 10 minutes or whatever it is, beat the final fight of the game again. And now, because you did that crash, you're only going to have 30 kills or 25 kills. It won't show that on your party counter now. That party counter will still show the full running total, but the achievement won't see that. It'll only see the kills that you've gotten since the crash and the reload. And of course, that will be well under 175, so you can get both in one run with that save and reload trick. Good luck going for these achievements. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time.